I now call this meeting of the Davenport Community School District Board of Directors to order. Could I please have everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the
flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Director Kleindrome, would you please read the board priorities?
The Davenport School Board establishes the following priorities to ensure the academic success of all students. Provide leadership and direction to improve the overall learning environment in our classrooms, schools, and district, including the health, safety, security, and happiness of students and staff. Direct and support actions, programs, and activities which reduce the impacts of poverty on our students, their families, and our community.
Thank you. Director Hayes, would you please read the mission and vision statements?
Yes, I'll be happy to. The mission statement is to enhance each student's abilities by providing a quality education enriched by our diverse community. Vision statement, education that challenges conventional thinking, prepares all students to compete in a global society, and inspires our students, parents, staff, and community to answer the question, what if?
Thank you, Director Hayes. We have a few presentations tonight, so I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Schneckloff.
Thank you, President Goza. Well, you can feel the excitement in the room. We have quite a few people in here tonight to be celebrated. I'm very excited. This is always one of my favorite presentations of the year, that we get to celebrate our students and families, because a lot of hard work goes into what you're about to see today. So tonight we have leading our presentation, we have our district athletic director and our district fine arts specialist, Gary Eagle and Steve Schwegler. And I would say that I'll turn it over to you guys for now, and each presentation can go however you see fit. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for putting this together. It means a lot to our school board, our administration, and our community to highlight the very successful things that are going on in our district. In terms of athletics and participation in something, when you participate in something, when you're a part of a team, or when you're a part of a team that's scoring individually, whatever it may be, there's effort, there's perseverance, there's all kinds of life skills. And as a parent, there's nothing better than having a village help raise your children. And so that's exactly what the stories that we're going to hear and see tonight. So thank you guys so much for coming tonight. It means the world to us, and we're very excited to hear and see about our students and families tonight. So Garrett, thank you for coming tonight and presenting to us.
All right, thank you. My name is Garrett Eagle, District Athletic Director, as Superintendent Schneckloff said. We have tonight attached to the agenda is our district's high schools, all conference selections and state qualifiers. And recognize them. We have 3 coaches and their student athletes here to speak about their athletes and their accomplishments for their state qualifying. One group that I would like to recognize that it kind of went unknown is a group of gentlemen that work all of our high school football games every Friday night or Thursday night. Our chain crew was were selected by the Iowa High School Association Union to be the chain crew for the 5A state championship game at the Dome. So that is Tom Wheeler, Roger Ace, John Tucker, Mark Stendens, and Mike Ace. So congratulations to them to be honored by our state to work a championship game down at UNI at the Dome. So congratulations to them. Right now, we're going to start with bringing the coaches up to talk about their athletes. I would like to say that, like TJ said, it's a lot of work and time and effort, so we appreciate the time that the student athletes put in, the time that the coaches dedicate and work with our kids, and also to the parents, thank you for instilling the work ethic values that your students have, and as a district, we are very proud of their accomplishments. I would like to start with the West girls swim coach, Mary Mandel, and her qualifier, Ella Heath.
My name is Mary Mandel. This is actually my 5th year on coaching staff. My 4th as the head coach, and this is Ella here. She's a senior at West.
Hi.
All 4 years, Ella has made state with us. She has gone in and placed higher than she qualified for. We're very proud of Ella. Ella goes and she works very hard. She puts in the time outside of season at like different clinics and things, and she comes back and she brings those and puts those into the season, and it pays off well for her. This year she really helped us out. We were kind of low numbers, and I didn't have enough to do a relay, and Ella jumped in and kind of became like a swiver. She swam and dove for us, and it was super helpful. You know, we're pretty sad to see her go. It's her last year, and she's done quite a bit for us as a team. So, anything you want to say?
All right, thank you, Ella. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to introduce our Central Girls Cross Country Coach Trujillo, and his state qualifier, Lois Blackman.
Good evening. I'm Mike Trujillo. I'm girls cross country coach at Central High School. Been that for a number of years now. Mr. Sekanoff, you mentioned all the hard work that goes into athletics. Not many of us would sign up to do 7, 8, 9, 10-mile runs daily in the summer, all summer long in the heat and the rain, whatever the weather was. But that's what Lois did all summer. Lois and all of her teammates. And Lois was an integral part of our team for all the years that she's been on the team. She's been on our varsity every year. But this year, midway, towards the end of the season, there was an athlete she wanted to beat, particularly at a race. So we sat down and we came up with a race plan. And how can we beat this person? What do we need to do? And she had to go outside of her comfort zone to do that. She had to take some risks and do some things she wasn't comfortable with. And then you could just see the light go off. That, oh, I can do this. And then the next week she beat a state qualifier from Johnston. And Johnston was state champions last year. And that just snowballed. And you know, one thing led to another, and Lois just ended the season on just a terrific note. The race she ran at the state meet, and I told her this at the meet, was the hardest I have ever seen any of my athletes ever run. You could see that there was nothing left in the tank, which is where you want it to be. You want to cross the finish line the last time, having given it your all, and she did exactly that. And more than just a good athlete, she's also just a first-rate person. So our team captain this year does all the right things quietly, doesn't draw attention to herself, a great role model for the younger runners, leads by example and by words, great student in the classroom, you know, an AP student involved in an environmental club. You go on and on. You could not ask for a finer representative of Davenport schools than Lois. It's been my pleasure this year to celebrate with her at the state meet. It was a lot of fun. We're going to miss her, but I'm really, really glad she got this opportunity to showcase her talents at the state level. So, thank you.
All right, and finally, I would like to have Coach Heller and Coach Wells and the Central swim team, girls swimmers that qualified for state.
Good afternoon. As you can see, we got just about everybody here. We had an awesome season. I could tell you at the end of last year that it was going to be a special season. Just like I'm going to tell you right now that you guys should get your tickets now for next year because it's going to be a phenomenal season as well. The girls did great. They finished third in our conference. They have a ton of accolades coming swim-wise, but I'm more proud that they have a current cumulative GPA right now of a 3.769 out of all 23 kids. So not only are they practicing twice a day on the weekends, swimming hard, being a great family member, they're also taking the time to do what student athletes should do, which is study. Our all-conference team, we had a bunch. Our medley relay team of Hannah Cousins, Isabel's sick today. Isabel Heller, she's not here. Gabby Hansen, Simone Green broke a record that I thought was pretty much going to be one of those that was up there for the test of time. They did so well, they were 3/4 of a second away from All-American consideration. And not a single one of them is an upperclassman. So that's a great thing that we're going to have in the future. Isabel Heller was named first team in the medley or in the individual medley. Hannah Cousins first team in the 50 free. Simone Green second team 50 free. Gabby Hansen was honorable mention 100 butterfly. Simone Green was second team all conference in the 100 freestyle. Our 200 free relay team that broke another school record was Hannah Cousins, Simone Green, Isabel Heller, and Lauren Valeroy. 100 backstroke, Hannah Cousins was first team all conference, and Gabby Hansen was second team, and then Isabel Heller was first team all conference in the breaststroke. Then when it came to state, it's the highest finish that I've ever had in my 26 years of doing this. They finished 12th and beat everybody but in our conference but Bettendorf, but they better watch out for us next year. They were 1/100th of a second from making the podium in the 200 medley relay. And like I said, you could tell that they have that energy to come back next year and really beat that goal and make that podium. Our all-state team members, Hannah Cousins was, there you go. Hannah Cousins was named honorable mention in the 100 backstroke, which is a phenomenal swim. She's battled some adversity this year and did a great job for us there. And then Isabel Heller, who's not here, was named second team all-state in the 100 breaststroke. If you happen to go by the pool at any point, you'll see that our record board's bare. We took down, I think, 8 or 9 different record plaques. There are a couple records that I thought would never fall, and it just goes to show that even though I'm old, I don't know everything. Hannah Cousins pretty much owns our record board right now, but there's a couple more like that 200 free that I thought would last forever, and then my kid Isabel broke the 100 breaststroke record, which I really did think it was going to be there for the end of time. So with that being said, these girls did a great job. If you want to see a heck of a show, you come by next year. I promise you, any meet, anywhere, we're going to take care of business. So it'll be an interesting and exciting year for us. I got Lauren Valeroy here. She's a part of our 200 free state team. Gabby Hansen qualified in the 100 butterfly, 100 back, 200 medley relay. Hannah Cousins was the 50 free, 100 back, 200 medley relay, 200 free. Simone was the 50 free, 100 free, 200 free relay, and then the 200 medley. Isabel not here, but she swam the IM breaststroke and then the 2 relays as well. So we were awfully busy that weekend. But I mean, I don't want to take much more of their time because I know they want to go to practice. That's why they're where they're at, because I assume they're leaving right here and getting in the pool. So, yeah, thanks for the time. Thanks for all that you guys do. I know that it's not easy allowing us to get the club into our pools and you guys accommodating us and everything that you guys do. Without you guys, we couldn't get it done. So thank you.
And also just like to recognize Coach Heller for getting MAC Coach of the Year for swimming, the girls swimming, so congratulations. And again, thank you for everyone for coming out, the student athletes and their parents and coaches, and thank you.
Mr. Eagle, before our athletes leave, before we do our next presentation, we would like to take a picture with our athletes, if you don't mind. So all of the athletes that are here tonight, please come up to the front here. Want to try and do it right here? Since our student board members are right in our photo op area. Come on up here, you guys, please. Please and thank you. Stand right here. We'll stand in this area. Get the logo behind us. Oh. Sergeant Diamond's going to be taking a picture here. That works for you. Sergeant Diamond. Yep. Thank you guys so much for going. So proud. Mr. Schwegler.
Good evening. My name is Steve Schwegler, and I'm proud to serve the district as the Fine Arts Curriculum and Instruction Specialist. And thank you for inviting us here tonight to, as Mr. Schneckloff said, to celebrate our fine arts students. We're going to be looking at 3 students who were 4-year all-state musicians. Also, 2 students who placed in their recent theater competitions, along with a staff member. And visual art, we have Festival of Trees Awards winner. So first, with the 4-year all-state musicians, these selected members of the 2021 All-State Band and Chorus. This is the highest individual honor available to Iowa high school musicians. The 2021 festival concert celebrated the 75th anniversary of this prestigious event. District auditions for the 278-piece All-State Band, the 214-piece All-State Orchestra, and 602-member All-State Chorus were held back in October 23rd. Approximately 17% of the students who audition are selected for membership in the All-State ensembles. Participants rehearsed in Ames on November 18th through 20th, and the festival concert was presented to the public at the Hilton Coliseum on the campus of Iowa State University on Saturday evening, November 20th. So I'd like you to see, we're recognizing 3 students tonight for All-State musicianship for 4 years. And but here's the list of all 38 students who were selected for All-State. So they're there, and you'll see the ones with asterisks are our 4-year All-State musicians. One of our All-State musicians couldn't be here tonight. Her name is Savannah Connor, and she's of course a senior who's been selected for All-State all 4 years. And she's a bassoonist who plays in the Central High School Orchestra. As we know with our, fine arts students, if they're not here, that doesn't mean they're home sitting around. They're probably doing something else. We have students that are going to be off to show choir or other music type rehearsals tonight. So I'd like to call up now Ryan Reverts to acknowledge and recognize his students for their outstanding achievement.
Hi everyone, my name is Ryan Reverts. I have been teaching in the district for 26 years. My mom actually started in 1969 and then she moved to Central in 1980 and then she took a year off and then the person who was at Central that came in to replace her decided to go do their doctorate and so she came back. So I'm what you would call a legacy, and I have been a proud member of this district for, like I said, 26 years. In that time, I have had now four-year All-Staters that I've had the privilege of teaching. And these 2 fine gentlemen behind me are the latest, the 3rd and the 4th. This is Trevor Milne, baritone, and Devontae Wesley, he's a tenor. And Devontae actually became the 3rd member of, under my teaching here, to get a solo at the All-State concert. So that was just amazing to see them as they've grown these 4 years. I mean, both of them came in as freshmen knowing everything, so it's been pretty easy for me to teach them. Yeah. What was said earlier about they do everything, They do. They do the drama. They do high academics. They're doing other things outside of school, whether it be my dance captains for my show choir, whether it be club volleyball. As you can see, he's not 5'2". And so these kids are going around all over the place and still finding the time to come in August for a 2.5-day camp and learn 7 pieces of music that they're going to audition on October. So we're very blessed. If you look up there, you'll see 12 names of North students, I believe 15 from Central and some from West for just the vocal. We have students who are really excelling at this, and they work their ever-loving tails off. So we're very proud of them. I believe both of them are going to be auditioning Wednesday for the musical, which is coming up in the spring, but we have to get it now so that we can start rehearsals coming in January. So plus the show choir, plus the athletics, plus everything they're doing. We're very lucky to have this this level of student that wants to truly be excellent, and they're willing to listen to 4 years of badgering, I guess is the easiest way to put it, to make great music. They actually did MetroFest, and they both had a solo at MetroFest, and then Devontae actually got a solo then at Allstate as well. So it's just been an awesome year to have these guys leading and being inspirational to the freshmen, the sophomores, and the juniors who want to be that good. They really set the bar high, and it is just incredible to be able to teach them and to be able to share them with you tonight. So awesome. Great job, guys.
Next, we move to theater, and the first student I'd like to recognize is Croy Baker. And if you go back to that previous list, you'll see that his was the first name on the All-State list. So he is, in fact, at show choir tonight at Central High School and is not able to come. But Croy was third place in his center with a solo musical presentation at the recent theater event. And his teacher is Thea Infeld at Central. I'd now like to call to the podium Leslie LaCourte, who is the North High School theater teacher, and who is also being recognized tonight. I'd like to recognize her. Ryan Reverts ratted her out. She was just named to the Iowa Thespians Hall of Fame. So here's Leslie to invite her student up to the podium.
Thanks, Steve. My name's Leslie LaCourte. I've been at North around 9 years, I think, now, teaching and directing the theater program. And our event is the one that Croy and Sophia both competed and placed in. Is slightly different than the other events that we just call All-State. There's no organization in the state of Iowa that is an all-state theater except for Iowa Thespians. So the Iowa Thespian Festival, which currently takes place every year in November at the University of Northern Iowa, is their version of All-State for theater. They are able to compete in what used to be called individual events. Now it has the catchy title of Thespies. They can compete in Thespies in basically any way that you could think a theater student can compete. So they can do technical work, design work, they can do musical work alone, in a duet, in a large group. There's just basically every style of theater art can be judged at that level. And so both Croy and Sophia placed in their center. Each center, the judges rate their top 3, and they can only rate the students who received consistent superior ratings. So basically those students are honored twice. They already got the superior rating on their rubric, and then they are chosen as the top 3 to move on. There is what you would consider a national contest, but we of course call it internationals because we're extra, I guess. We do have other countries bring their students to that event, so that's why it's called international. And so Sophia and Croy as well both have the opportunity to take their piece into Bloomington, Indiana, and perform for judges there. Obviously, they can't move on from there, but they can win, if we want to talk in kind of sporting terms. So that opportunity is there for Sophia and Croy this June. And I want to just recognize Sophia for receiving, we're going round and round, I think it was second place in her center. Things are a little stressful when those lists come out, and now my brain is not really remembering. Either way, that she was advancing to international. And I thought maybe Sophia could tell you a little bit about what you have to do to prepare for one of those pieces. So here's Sophia Magalhães.
Hi, yes, I am Sophia Magalhães. Oh gosh, preparing. I first prepared this piece last spring. It was my solo for the musical, which I then got awarded, what was it?
The Iowa High School Musical Theater Awards as well.
IHSMTA, I got Outstanding Performance in Principal Role, which I then took to Des Moines and performed for their end-of-year showcase on PBS, which was terrifying, but also an amazing experience. We prepared for about 2 months before performing the musical, and then this year I kind of just decided, oh, let's do this. Like, I already have it prepared. I might as well. I worked on it a little bit more, was very sick the week before Thespian Festival, performed for Clue that we took as a main stage, and then later that day I performed, it was Christmas Lullaby is the name of the song, and shockingly enough, to me at least, I was, awarded superior ratings, and will now be going to internationals, which is also terrifying, but I am greatly looking forward to. And I want to give another round of applause to Mrs. LaCourte. She is an amazing director and an amazing person, and I am so honored that I get to work with her. So, yes.
Sophia mentioned something I also should have mentioned, that we did bring a full main stage production. 30 students were involved. The entire production traveled from our fall play to festival. They were like, we're moving this set? Yes, we are, on a truck. So and you only get an hour and a half load in. I didn't tell them that till we got there. Hour and a half to get it off the truck on the stage, and these guys are ready to go. We opened the festival on Friday morning. Unfortunately, we do not have judges' results back yet, so I can't give you any news, good or bad or otherwise. But that production does have the opportunity of moving on to international should it be selected. So some pretty exciting stuff going on in theater. And Rearts, I know you busted me on this Hall of Fame thing, so you're in trouble. The other thing is, several of these other students who are here for other things were all in that production. We're also in the production this past weekend of our children's show, and I know they're all auditioning. They don't have a choice on Wednesday, so they're very busy, and they're all going to show choir probably shortly. So thanks for your time. We have lots of exciting stuff going on. We appreciate the time here so you can recognize them. These students are awesome. Thank you.
And now I'd like to recognize our visual art department. And first off, I'd like to recognize the art educators that are here tonight, and if they would stand and give a wave. Renee Ott, Chad Wolf, Neil Meeker, and I'd like to call Dave Schaefer to the podium to present our award winners.
Hi, my name is Dave Schaefer. I'm an art teacher at West High School. It's my honor to get to talk about the visual art program. I don't know if the slideshow will pull up here, but since we're art people, we usually do things a little bit different. And we put together a slideshow just so you guys could see it since we're visual. Looking at some of the awards, pretty cool to see how Davenport schools cleaned house. This is the first year that all 4 high schools won awards at Festival of Trees. We had 19 high schools there. There were 17 awards that were given. Of those 17, Davenport schools won 8 of those awards. So if you break that down by percentage between the 4 high schools, that is just an amazing accomplishment. So there you can see the list of awards that we were all emailed, and Obviously a celebration when you see names or Davenport all over that list. So very cool opportunity to get to do that. So we have two of our award winners here that I'd like to introduce. So we'll go through their artwork and show you guys what that looks like. So here you can see what the panels look like. We're given 3 panels each high school to display our work. So obviously it's just an honor to even be accepted into the show and place the students' work. But all of the panels have ribbons all over them. So obviously as art teachers, that's our big moment of pride to get to stand back and see the colors all over it. So that was an exciting being able to see all the awards for Davenport schools. So Gracie was not able to be here tonight, but from Davenport West, Gracie Sade won first place in photography. This was a pretty cool project that Mr. Meeker had put together. So fantastic work, selected as first place in all of the photography. And then first place in 3-dimensional from Central High School is Mia McCreary, and she had her dinner set. I don't know if she wants to step up and say anything about it.
Miss Ott just had me create a dinner set, and she said that we had to create a theme, and I thought that the Queen of Hearts was really interesting, so I just thought of like the saucer was just like little cards because our army is like card people, and then the head with the brain inside, I just thought that it all like kind of made sense and was able to like put together like more creatively.
All right, and then the top award out of all the works, they select one best of show, and is the first time I've ever been called during the judging, during the school day. They had an emergency call and put it through. They were asking if she actually did do this. And one thing that we're really pushing kids right now for is to be doing time-lapse video capture so that we have proof that they are actually making it. That happened some during COVID. We were doing some of that before, but Bella Davis from West High School won with the best of show. And here you can see a time-lapse of her creating her work. So I don't know if you want to say anything as it's playing. There's no audio or anything to it, so you can hit play on that. So hopefully it goes. You want to say anything?
I kind of mostly drew it just because I was mostly focusing on portraits and landscapes, and so I thought doing a still life would kind of be something different from my comfort zone. So, very nerve-wracking.
So one exciting thing about winning Best of Show is that the top award gets the front window of the Quad City Arts for a month as an advertisement for the high school exhibition. Bella will be able to put multiple pieces in there with price tags and basically be the featured artist. So she's still allowed to put a piece into the competition, but she's the featured that has to fill the whole window. So as a junior, first time taking my art class, I know she's taken some other art classes, but it's a pride to have her in class, having her for 2 classes, that's very helpful. Yeah, we love to see kids take multiple classes and build up their portfolio. So it was an honor to get to speak to you guys. So as artist myself, I'm a Davenport graduate, so I've taught at West for 2 years now, and I taught at North for 16 years before that. And I went K-12 Davenport schools, and I worked both through the visual art department and the music program. So I marched for the Hawkeyes, played in the drumline, so I know we have a very strong arts program here in Davenport schools, and I hope that we can continue that. So I think that this kind of showcases that and shows what we have for talent. So there are a few pieces set here. You guys can see the ribbons and the work there, so you can see them physical, and appreciate your time. So, all right, thank you.
Thanks again for letting us present, and I know I give to Brenda the information for performances and exhibits and things every month. So you'll be getting a new installment. You've got through January, and you'll be getting a new installment for the rest of the year, February through May, here soon. So we look forward to seeing you at our events, and if you went to everything, you'd never be home. So you'll have to pick and choose. But thanks again, and you can see why I'm so proud of these teachers and students. They do amazing things, and you know, they're one of the reasons that, you know, the arts continue to be very important to the Davenport schools. Thank you.
we would like to take a picture with our students. So we'll repeat the same process that we did for athlete. Right up here. Yep, right in. You're too tall. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to come out and spend it with us. Mr. Schwegler, thank you so much for putting that presentation together. Parents, thank you so much for supporting your students. And students, thank you for being awesome. I think it's just an absolute testament to the staff that we have as you listen to them speak with passion and be recognized all across the state for their wonderful accomplishments. And so we are incredibly proud of the hard work that our staff members put in, and we're incredibly proud of our students that are reaching their fullest potential and growing excellence, as we say in our district. So we're very proud of that. So that concludes our presentations, President Goza.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to student board reports. Turn it over to the superintendent.
Well, I have to admit, we had a wonderful orientation session the other day, and had some wonderful questions, some great onboarding, some good pizza. But I will tell you, I was very inspired by our student leaders that are sitting in front of us today. They asked wonderful questions, were engaged. Brenda asked them a question of, why do you want to do this? And they all want to be a part of something that's bigger than them and be a part of the process. And so I was very proud and honored to be able to hang out with them. So with that being said, Reef, you want to get us started, and what we'll do is we will just go right down the line like this. And if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, saying your name before you do your report, that will be great.
Okay. Hi, my name's Brianna Alexiashik. I'm a senior at West. I'm very excited to talk about some of the things going on at West today. First of all, just something fun we're doing just all for school spirit at West this week is Holiday Spirit Week. Just like ugly sweaters, Christmas holiday PJs, festive flannels, just all kind of stuff like that every day this week. Something that I personally get to see every day that's pretty awesome is my house is located near the student built house, and I know that for sure there's like West and North students. I believe Central, but I'm not quite sure. But something that I see every day, like when I look out my window, is like them working on it. And it's pretty cool to see like kids I know building a house with Mr. Peckenschneider. I think that's pretty cool. The angel tree is something I'm in charge of with Miss O'Hare at West. It's a about 20-year long tradition that we've been doing that benefits students in the West High School community that are in need during this holiday season. It's going really well. We have over 2/3 of the stuff done today. We went through the list, and there's only just a few items left on there, so it's doing really well. And it's an Amazon wish list, and if you haven't checked it out already, on our West High School Senate page, there's the QR code and the bit.ly link for that. That ends this Friday, December 17th, and then Miss O'Hare will give the students the gifts that they asked for or want/need. Something else that Miss O'Hare is a part of and has grown exponentially this year is MVP, Mentors in Violence Prevention. There's currently 41 members, which is quite a bit compared to previous years. They will begin going to freshman classrooms on January 10th. They cover hard to talk about topics like suicide prevention and other things like that. It's really beneficial for people to talk about it. And their overall goal is to improve the climate and culture in our schools. That's it.
Hi, I'm Sarah Burnick. I'm also a senior at West. Another thing going on at West is that Mr. Zinn's welding class recently put up a Christmas structure at the farmers market. It's this huge, beautiful, like Christmas, big like gateway. It's a 2-year project, but due to COVID, it's 3 years. It was originally stolen by like scrap boys, and so they've pulled scraps together with what was left of the budget and really made a really cool artwork. And they also have 3 other big projects lined up for springtime, so be on the lookout for those. Lastly, our dance team, along with the other Davenport school districts, attended state December 3rd up in Des Moines. We placed 5th in POM in our class, and then 2nd place for kick, which we haven't placed 2nd since 2015, so that was awesome. We also had a soloist, Bree sister actually. She placed 4th in top 10 out of 59 soloists, so 4th out of 59. That was our very first soloist in history to place, so that was really awesome. That's all for Wes.
Hello, my name is Matre Shrakonde. I'm a senior at Davenport Central. This past week, our student leadership team had a holiday dinner box fundraiser. They collected 64 boxes of food in each 4th block class. Not in each 4th block class, but combined. And that's each box is $28 worth of food. The equivalent was $1,800 total dollars of food and monetary donations. And all these donations will go to Central families that are in need during this holiday season. With that holiday box donations, we also took donations for the football players versus teachers volleyball game, where the football players won for the first time in school history over the teachers. So that was pretty fun. The student council also had their hunger drive. The goal was 20,000 cans. We actually exceeded that goal at 21,000 cans. And because of that, our principal, Mr. Flynn, will belly flop into the pool. So that's something we're all very excited about. Similar to our other Davenport high schools, the dance team attended state and won multiple awards, some being the 5th time co-ed state champs, 5th in class 13 POM, the all-male champs, and the academic award for a team GPA of 3.49. So we are very proud of them. Also, this past weekend, our wrestling team had 4 podium winners in Maquoketa, and Corbin Session was the first girl to win in the Maquoketa tournament history. So we were very proud of her. Something that we, us as a district, might have heard of was senior at Central Antoine Lowry. His mother unexpectedly passed away this past November. He's involved in football, dance, and many leadership teams. Together, the community came together, and we were able to raise over $61,000 for his everyday expenses and costs, as he will be living alone from now. So that was really just an inspiring thing that we were all able to come together for our classmate. The National Honor Society, we are attending a trivia night for our Central alum, Emerson Hughes, who was diagnosed with cancer a couple years ago. And it is, she's been battling leukemia for a couple of years now, and we're all gonna come out and support her at this trivia benefit. And also, as we heard earlier from Lois Blackman, the girl who qualified for state from Central, many boys cross country members and also her friends, including myself, went out to support her at state. So that was another good example of us coming together and really just supporting our teammate, classmate. Thank you.
Sorry for that. My name is Gabriella Swales. I'm a senior at North High School. And so at North, this last week was pretty busy. It was very exciting, especially in the fine arts world. We had we call them clap outs, where we have at the end of 4th block, all of our students will come into the hallways and we'll clap for all of our recognized students. And so we had a fine arts clap out for the first time in school history, which was very exciting, and we recognized so many students, including all of our 12 all-state students and our CLUE cast members, myself included, and the new members of our National Honor Society.
speaking of our National Honor Society, they are working with Brittany's Gifts, which is a local charity which is benefiting a cause very near and dear to one of our former North alums who has sadly passed away from cancer a few years back. But continuing on with her legacy, she always wanted to help bring gifts to underrepresented community members. And so our National Honor Society is working with her charity. And so far we have raised over $250, but this is just the very start of our season for this charity to help provide these gifts for the community. We are doing this through holiday explosions in our classrooms, which is where we go into a teacher's classroom and we put up some Christmas/other holiday decorations all over one wall of the classroom, and then the teacher can pay to have it moved the next day for a fee of like $5, and then they can send it to whatever teacher they want. And so it's just some good-natured fun. And then we also have candygrams, which we are selling, and we had a gift wrapping thing where teachers could bring in their gifts for the holidays that they needed wrapped, and they could pay to have North students wrap them for them as just a fundraiser for Brittany's Gifts. And then we also had James and the Giant Peach was our children's show last weekend. Just finished up yesterday, actually. And we had children's workshops on Saturday, the 11th, which were a great success. We had students from K through 8 from all over the district come and learn a little bit about theater, and they got to even perform in a little pre-show before James and the Giant Peach. And so we also, one more thing for me, and then I'll hand it over to Alex. We have a mini festival of trees going on in our library, which is just showcasing some departments, and I think most of the departments actually were able to come up and put up a tree / random little tree-shaped thing. We don't really have that many trees, actually. We have a tree, kind of beakers full of different little colored-in baubles with different safe chemicals from our chemistry department. Very cool, very helpful to be able to learn more about our school and showcase a little bit about our departments. And so that's it for me. Here you are.
Hello, my name is Alexander Pumivong, and currently in Joy Club. Joy Club recently made food donations toward All Saints Lutheran Church. Also, Joy Club's also been involved in ringing bells for the Salvation Army, which you may have seen nearby in the fairway.
Yep.
This week, the Davenport North boys basketball varsity team will be versing Pleasant Valley tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Go Wildcats! All in all, we can say that COVID has hit everybody hard, and as a collective, North as a whole can say that we're ready for this break.
Thank you very much. Well done. That concludes our student board reports.
Thank you, student board members. We appreciate your input from your schools. We will now move on to board reports. Are there any board reports? We had a holiday concert, and Director Klein, you're on.
I attended Wood Junior High youth leadership team. It was very good experience to see how this is running and operating. So I appreciate Wood opening up the doors to let board members come in. I also attended at the Adler the choral program for the holidays. Awesome job. If any of you were involved, wow. I'm just blown away when everybody is up there on stage. It is very cool.
Thank you, Director Beck.
Keeping with the theme of fine arts or performing arts, I attended the Central Progressive Orchestra concert last week, and the Central Orchestra gets together all sort of the feeder orchestras to play in one concert together. And so it started with 5th and 6th graders from Washington and Eisenhower, and I think McKinley also. And then there was the Sudlow Orchestra, and then the freshman orchestra, and then the 10th through 12th grade orchestra, along with it's typically strings, but they invited the winds and brass as well. So it was a great performance, wonderful performance of holiday music. And then all of the students played Jingle Bells together at the end. It was quite the scene. But it was a great show, and it's really wonderful to be able to see the difference between 5th grade and 10th grade in terms of their ability to perform, as a group. It's a pretty amazing show.
Thank you, Director Potts.
Yeah, I got a board report on the Facilities Committee meeting. That committee meets every other Friday. Our last meeting, we met with the consultants. They had just finished up their first meeting with the parent and constituent groups. That was very productive based on their feedback from those parents and the way the meeting went. They're doing a follow-up meeting this week, tomorrow night, with 11 individuals who weren't able to make the first meeting. And then the next full meeting is at Monroe on the 14th of January. And I'm going to attend that meeting primarily to reassure. There were some of the questions that were asked were, we're going to go through this entire process, this entire facilities process of reimagining the district grade config. The whole thing is open as to what they may be recommending to us. And there was a couple of, at least one person or two people that asked, well, yeah, but, doesn't the board already know what they're going to do? And my job is to assure them that we don't know what we're doing. Or at least we don't know in terms of this facility. There is no plan in a can, and that these people are just window dressing, and that's important. That's important.
Thank you. Any other board reports? Director Poston.
On December 7th, I attended the youth leadership team meeting at West High under the direction of Miss O'Hare. Also present was Jamie Walker Salas, our equity innovator, Ben Driscoll, and Principal Williams. So I appreciate him allowing the time to visit with the students and find out what they would like to accomplish through the youth leadership team. I also will be attending a youth leadership team meeting tomorrow at SMART. And also while I was at West High, I had a chance to meet with the IJAG instructors, Mr. Robinson and Mr. Nunn, and I appreciate them taking the time out and visit with me. And also in the last 10 days, I've been to 7 basketball games.
Thank you, Director Poston. Director Gordon.
I also attended the youth leadership team at West last Tuesday, and it was a really great experience. They have a very diverse group. Naturally, they only have five students, I think, on their group, but from every walk of the population, every age. It was really neat to see. And my favorite quote of the meeting was one of the students. When asked why they're on the team, she said, "Because you got to look in the mirror first." And I really like that, that self-awareness, that sometimes we have to change ourselves first. And then Thursday, I went to Washington Elementary's youth leadership team along with Director Hayes and Jamie Walker Solis. And that was really awesome also for such young kids to know what they're doing and have the confidence that they've gained in such a short time. Something that I really admired about that group in particular. I don't remember the teacher's name. Hopefully you wrote it down, Linda. But she is working with them twice a week. She meets with them twice weekly, which is considerably more often than a lot of the other groups from what I understand, and it shows. It's a good thing.
Thank you. Director Hayes.
As Director Gordon mentioned, we went to Washington on Thursday. There was one little girl there. She looked like she might have been about in 2nd, 3rd grade. She was actually in 6th grade, and she kind of took over the team, and she greeted us and introduced us to everyone, and she just pretty much ran the show. True leadership. One thing that really impressed me about one of the little fellows there, Because we were just kind of observing their week of kindness that started today, and they were rehearsing it. And the one guy says, you know what, we can't just go blah, blah, blah. We have to really put something in it, like we're talking to our friends. And I was impressed with the fact that they were already in tune with diction and tone. And when they said it several times, you could see the enthusiasm that they shared with it. So this particular group at Washington, I think those little folks are going somewhere because no one was shy. Everyone spoke right up and participated. I'd also like to acknowledge North High School for the team that went to Hawaii to participate in the Pearl Harbor Day parade. I thought that was pretty nice. On Saturday, I went to the Davenport Junior Theater. A lot of the students from, I guess, from the village clear up to high school participated in recitals that day, so that was pretty nice, especially seeing the little ones in their little tutus and dancing and staying on beat and tumblers, and it was just a nice little lighthearted celebration that I participated in. Gabriella, wondering if it's open that board members can bring gifts to be wrapped at North.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I hate wrapping gifts, so if it's open, I'll bring my bags up and get it going. Lastly, the board would like to offer our express condolences to the Bell family in the passing of a secretary at West, Stephanie Bell, to the Lowry family in the passing of Antoine's mother, and also to Director Gosa and his family. His wife's father passed last week, so the board would like to offer our express condolence to each of those families.
Thank you. I was also at the holiday concert. I want to say it was an amazing show. We have a lot of talented students in our district from every one of the high schools. I don't even know how they got all those kids on stage, but it was a great night. I think the superintendent even broke one of the chairs in there. Probably get a bill for that. But no, it was a great night. We got a lot of talent in the district. I was also at the musical James and the Giant Peach at North High School this weekend. A couple of our award winners looked a little different without their caterpillar arms and things like that, but they did a great job at that. I love getting out into the schools and seeing the different things we have going on, because we do have a lot of talented kids in our district, and we do offer a lot of things that a lot of other districts around us don't. So we do have a lot of talented kiddos, and we just need to start highlighting that stuff a lot more. So are there any other board reports? Director Hayes?
I'm sorry, I inadvertently forgot to mention one of our HR associates, Jabari Woods. He also lost his mom last week as well. So we offer our condolence to the Woods family as well.
Thank you, Director Hayes. Any other board reports? All right, seeing none, I'll move on to communications. Open forum. Open forum is a time for members of the community to give input at board meetings regarding school district issues or concerns. Individuals who want to speak, please fill out an open forum request and give it to the board secretary prior to open forum. The form is available in hard copy for in-person attendees or on the school board page of the district's web page for those who want to participate virtually. Virtual participants must email their request to Brenda T. at tbrin@davenportschools.org by 3 p.m. on the day of the board meeting. The board will not act on any issue presented during open forum if it was not published as an agenda item. Iowa Open Meetings Law prohibits action on any issue that is not on the agenda. The president may set the amount of time allowed for individuals to speak. The board asks that no charges or complaints be made against individual employees of the district or community. Remarks that reflect negatively on the character or motives of any person will be called out of order. Did we have any? We only had the one? We have one open forum request for tonight, so go 3 minutes. Jackson Belvier is the open forum for tonight, so when you come up, just make sure you state your name, and if you're a minor, you don't have to give us your address.
May I ask just real quick, Ms. Hayes, who was the secretary who passed away at West?
Stephanie Bell.
Stephanie who?
Stephanie Bell.
Dell?
Bell, B-E-L-L.
I thought you said Beth. I was worried. She's oh no, she's at Mid-City. Never mind. I thought there's a secretary named Beth that everybody loves, and I was shocked to hear that. I thought she'd passed away, and no one was talking about that. Thank you for the clarification. Jackson Bellevue, 2902 West 71st Street, Davenport, Iowa, 52806. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I just want to say, first off, congratulations to the two board members who recently got reelected, and to our new board member who has left, apparently. Just wanted to give you guys some congratulations on that. I just wanted to talk about something that's been sort of plaguing me these past few days. I've been told by some teachers that the administration is planning on shortening the amount of terms that the AP classes in the high schools are going to be allowed over a year, from 3 to 2. I've talked with multiple teachers and multiple students about this, including alumni of the school district, and we've all come to one conclusion, that this is incredibly unfair to all of the students and all of the teachers who put in the work to but not only provide these classes to the students, but who, can I take this off while I'm talking? Thank you. This is incredibly unfair to all the students who put in their work every day in these classes to get that 4 or 5 on that AP exam. They are now going to be required, as of next year, to crunch all of that teachers are going to be required to crunch all of that information in a third of the time, and the students are going to be expected to put in the same amount of work to get something that students in the past got an entire extra 9 weeks, 90 minutes a day for. That's a lot of time to lose for something that is so important to a lot of students. Something that could mean possibly hundreds or thousands of dollars for a college class that they're going to have to pay full price for if they can't make that AP test due to the lost time, as well as the fact that since the board has just, or maybe not the board, but the administration at least, has decided to require students to now pay for their AP tests as opposed to the district paying for them, they're now going to have to take an even greater risk with their money, or if they're younger, their parents' money, for something that was not as risky in the past. I think this is incredibly unfair, and I don't know if this is something, why particularly this is being done, if it's monetary, if it's for some other reason, but unless this is something that is absolutely required in order to require the district, in order to allow the district to function due to budget or whatever, I really do not think this should be done. If this is budget, I question why the board has not decided to, is my time up? All right, I'll just finish up saying I think this many other things the board could focus on right now instead of cutting AP classes, and I really do feel bad for the students who are hoping to maybe have a really good shot next year with their AP classes, and that might get shut down now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Could you turn that microphone, or did it? Never mind, it went off. Thank you. As always, the board appreciates the open forum and the public giving us their input. Thank you, Jackson. We appreciate it. I will now move on to the consent. May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board accept the consent agenda as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Potts. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Director Hayes?
Yes.
Director Director Potts?
Yes.
All right. Director Gordon?
Yes.
Director Klein Jerome?
Yes.
Director Postian?
Yes.
Director Beck?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Motion carries. May I have a motion on the approval of bills?
Mr. President,
Director Beck?
I move the board approve the following resolution recommended by the administration. Resolved, all claims presented to the board having been duly certified as correct by the treasurer, reviewed by the administration and board members, and they are hereby audited and allowed as just claims and warrants drawn on the treasury for the several amounts. Further resolved, the payment of claims and salaries be approved as presented for the periods of November 17th, 2021 through December 7th, 2021.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Hayes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Director Beck?
Yes.
Director Hayes?
Yes.
Director Klein Jerome?
Yes.
Director Postian?
Yes.
Director Gordon?
Yes.
Director Potts?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Motion carries. Superintendent report.
None at this time.
Committee reports. You got something for finance?
Just the Finance Committee meeting on Thursday at 2 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Director Potts already gave the Long Range Facilities Plan Committee report. Any other reports? Director Beck.
I was just going to say the LCAC is going to meet tomorrow night, so we'll have something to report on that at the next in January. And then the policy committee meeting or policy committee is continuing its review of all policies.
Okay, thank you. Any other committee reports? Seeing none, we will move on to items requiring action. May I have a motion on subject 10.01?
Mr. President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board approve the request to the School Budget Review Committee, SBRC, for modified supplemental amount of supplemental aid for the 2022-23 Dropout Prevention Program in the amount of $5,207,993 for expenditures necessary to implement the 2022-23 At-Risk and Dropout Prevention Program plans as approved by the Davenport Community School District School Board.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Potts. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Director Hayes?
Yes.
Director Potts?
Yes.
Director Gordon?
Yes.
Director Postian?
Yes.
Director Klein Jerome?
Yes.
Director Beck?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Motion carries. May I have a motion on subject 10.02?
Mr. President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board approve the Youth Advocates Program Memorandum of Understanding as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Beck. Is there any discussion?
Could I ask if the superintendent or you, Mr. President, would give sort of just a brief summary for people in the public who may not have heard our discussion on this?
Sure. So this organization serves youth and families that are really struggling. And their goal is to provide 24/7, 365 care for families and students in our most at-risk environments. So President Goza and myself personally have probably another 3 hours in this MOU meeting with their COO of YAP, going over the terms and conditions so we can start this program as soon as possible. It's an organization that's going to come. They're going to bring their own. They're established right now. They're currently operating on the inner cities of Chicago's, helping break down barriers for students and families. And they are a service-based organization, and that has shown results. And so, for our menu of options that we have for students and families that are struggling, this will fit very nicely into and serve our students and families. So we did sit down with the organization. Our attorneys have reviewed this, and we sat down with them and made changes, and we're very comfortable as an organization with what is here in front of you. So once this MOU is in place, if the board decides to vote on it today, technically there's no funds being changed to place here, but this is something that we brought to the board for consideration. An organization presented to us, so we felt it necessary to bring it back in front of you to vote on. And so from there, that's why this is sitting in front of you, because it's not a binding financial binding MOU, which typically we establish and move forward. But this has been a priority of the board to help address needs inside of our community, and so that's President Goza and Vice President Hayes thought it would be good for the board for this to come before the board, and that's where we are today. This moves forward. The app will begin the hiring process in consultation with Davenport schools. So that it kind of gives a background. President Goza, do you have anything to add?
You covered it pretty well, but this is a nationwide organization. I think they were in 33 states, I think they said. Director Beck.
Just a follow-up or slightly separate question. So currently, as you drive around town, there are a number of billboards advertising YAP, which I believe stands for Youth Assessment Program. And it took me a little bit to realize that this is not the same thing.
Absolutely. So the Youth Assessment Program is based out of Family Resources. Okay. And that is a one-stop shop for all the resources in our community. This program is going to serve 15 to 20 youth that are in desperate need of that. So this could be a referring agent of that other YAP. Okay. One of the things that we talked about when they get here is changing the name. Okay. So that would be less confusing for the families. They're also talking about this being a regionally located. So that way the people that they hire are from that region and working with the students in that region. So yes, they're two completely different things.
Okay. Well, and I know that the A stands for advocate in this acronym, but I just wanted to make sure that it's clear. So there's a potential that we could potentially call this like DYAP or something, Davenport YAP or something like that, just to make sure that we don't have that kind
Yes, they were willing to do that.
Okay, okay, good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Director Hayes?
Yes.
Director Beck?
Yes.
Director Klein-Jerome?
Yes.
Director Poston?
Yes.
Director Potts?
Yes.
Director Gordon?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Motion carries. May I have a motion on subject 10.03?
Mr. President,
Director Beck.
I move that the board approve policies recommended by the Policy Committee, 603.09, 604.08, and 604.09. Academic freedom, foreign students, and the homeschool assistant program.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Hayes. Just for clarity for Director Gordon, we usually discuss policies twice and then we vote on them the third time. So that's why they're here.
Correct. And we have discussed these 2 times already, and I believe we did not have any changes requested, but if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them or try to.
Any questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Director Beck?
Yes.
Director Hayes?
Yes.
Director Gordon?
Yes.
Director Potts?
Yes.
Director Poston?
Yes.
Director Klein-Jerome?
Yes.
My vote is yes. Motion carries. Discussion items. First item for discussion is subject 11.01, policies for board's first discussion. I will turn it over to Director Beck.
Thank you. We're currently working on the 600 series as numbered by the IASB. And so we are at the instructional materials selection policy 605.01. This is a mandatory policy. We may edit the policy to reflect the district's philosophy, goals, and practices, but otherwise it is required by law. So essentially here, we can delegate authority to select and approve instructional materials for the district to license employees, to determine which materials other than textbooks will be utilized and purchased. And essentially, the main meat of this is that materials should be reviewed on a regular basis. Likewise, textbooks should also be reviewed at least every 10 years is what we have currently listed in this policy. So I would entertain any questions or comments. Okay, then we will bring it back for a second discussion at our next regular meeting, and then we'll vote on it after that.
Thank you, Director Beck. The next subject for discussion is subject 11.02, an ad hoc committee for a data wall.
So,
did you want to?
I'll go first. Okay. So one of our board requests, and for a little bit of history for our student board members, in our previous boardroom, we had a data wall that allowed the school board to track the actions that it wanted to see progress on. And it really did help keep the focus of the school board on achievement. And so we've been coming up with ways, brainstorming ways in our agenda committee. And Vice President Hayes said, well, why don't we just have a discussion at the table what that data wall should be like, and that would give the administration some guidance. The main thing we keep landing on is the school performance profile that we are held accountable to at the state area. And so that's where we keep landing, but we wanted to seek some input from the whole school board with the potential of putting together an ad hoc committee, bring a recommendation back, and then move forward. President Hayes, Vice President Hayes.
And when we were in the boardroom, or the previous boardroom, the data wall was just painted on there, and we were kind of trying to get some ideas on how this information could be moved so you could visually see it, where rather than seeing that same, not just paint, removing paint, just some kind of way we could put something up there so when the reading scores went up, you could see that. Just talk through ideas of figuring out how that board, just get ideas how that board would look. And even down as simple as, well, that's probably the only wall available, but we just want to discuss how that looks to you and what some of the main things on there that you want to see. Director Beck?
Could you give a rundown of what items would be on, if we use the school performance profile, can you just give a brief list of what items would be there? I can't remember off the top of my head what you talked about.
Do you know them, Lisa? I was just looking at them before I came in here. About 12 things.
The Iowa School Performance Profile has, depending on if it's elementary or secondary, but they look at ELPA 21 results, which are is the English language assessment for our ELs. It looks at our ISASP report, so the math, reading, and science for grades 3 through 11 that you've had presentations on at the COW sessions the last few months. It also talks about proficiency on those assessments. And then they also have a weighted portion that's participation. So we want over 95% of our students to take those assessments in addition to that. And then they also look at, help me out here, guys. I think it's attendance, right? Is part of that too.
4-year and 5-year graduation.
Oh, 4-year and 5-year graduation, right? Thank you very much. And then
growth.
ACT was another, the number of our students that are taking the ACT and how they're performing. And conditions for learning, which you heard about at the October COW when we talked about emotional safety and physical safety.
When Lisa and I were talking about this earlier today, everything that we are presenting at a monthly basis at a committee of the whole are the things that feed the conditions for learning and or the Iowa School Performance Profile. So it kind of would feed in naturally. We would be presenting about items that were on there as a district.
So with that being said, before I'll let you ask in a second, I think Vice President Hayes was looking at having an ad hoc committee and see what board members would be interested in being on that, so you can determine what goes on the data wall. That's the gist of it, right?
That's it.
All right, Director Beck.
I guess before we get to the committee, are we looking at something potentially digital, like a screen that we can turn on and off, or like a TV with a PowerPoint rotating in the background, or something a little bit more paper-based? Or, I mean, because these numbers aren't updated every day, right? So it's not like we need real-time information, but maybe.
That would certainly be something that the committee could come up with.
Okay, so that's something that, because I guess I was also trying to think of, is there a way to include students in the production? If it were, for example, a rotating web page or something like that, do we have classes doing graphic web design and things like that who could design the page for us, so that we give students the opportunity to produce something that's then on display here? That's another thought I have.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying you want to participate in the ad hoc committee?
I'm going to say yes and hope that my husband's not listening to this meeting right now.
Director Klein-Jerome.
And I like the idea of the data that we've been talking about, but I also would like to see, like, these students that were recognized. I would like some, the Fine Arts Awards and the Theater Awards and the athletic awards and academic or whatever it is out there to showcase it, not just a one-time, oh, they came in and they left. I want it up there. I want to see it. Just my input.
So you would like to be on the ad hoc committee as well?
No, I would not. I have created data walls in my day. I do not want to be on the committee.
So your expertise is needed. You've done it in your day.
I think what Director Klein-Jerome was saying, she'd be available upon request.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what I heard.
It's a critical friend.
Anyone have anything else they want to add? I think Director Potts wants to join in on that too.
President Rosa.
Do any student board members have anything you'd like to?
I think it would be cool to recognize, like what Ms. Jerome said, like all of the fine arts and things like that. And I was just thinking, like, maybe like quarterly achievements or like semester achievements. I don't know. Just something to consider.
Do you want to be on the committee?
That's right.
If you would like to be on that committee, you can be included.
I don't know.
They might have a virtual option, or you can send them your ideas.
It'll be fun.
That's a half, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. And if you're too busy, we understand.
Don't we normally put people that are not here on those kinds of committees?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matre, Zin.
So what you guys and gals are saying, you would like to appoint some of the student board members that aren't here right now.
Alexander and Matre are automatically on the data.
Jamar would love that. We'll put Jamar on it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, he has he was a computer science. His goal was to be
yeah.
a
He's majoring in computer science.
I'll reach
There
out.
we go.
I will reach out to Jamar.
Yes.
Way to participate, student board members. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Do any of you other student board members want to add anything? You don't have to be on that committee, but if you want to throw some input for the committee, that's good.
I just like the idea of having students, like a class, help to create that web page. I know that we have a ton of graphic design classes, especially offered at Central. Just putting that out there. I have many friends that are in those classes, and so I'm sure that they would love to have that added into that to be able to see. So that's mine.
Thank you. Sarah, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I think definitely like the grade point average, like achievements. Like I didn't say this before, but like our dance team grade point average, it's not posted everywhere, but we got an award for it at state for a 3.89 is our dance team average. And I think like having other people be able to see that from even from like other districts and stuff, just posted anywhere so it's available, I think that would be cool to see. And not even just for dance team, but like any of the athletics or arts.
I agree.
I have something else to add. I think that we should just like not just include like high school members or like high school students, just like find a way to incorporate the middle and elementary schools as well, just so they don't feel left out. Just include them as much as possible.
Dr. Stevenson?
I'm really glad the students chimed in because I was thinking that the state, when they look at the Iowa school performance profile, if you look at our wall, they look at academics, right? So that's all the things I rattled off. But what you talk about is the real lived experience of kids, which is the arts and athletics. So maybe it's a combination. It's like we have a lot of walls. Maybe it's 3 walls. And you can highlight individuals or teams with arts and athletics in different ways. And then we can still do the academics, which is what the state and the national government reports our school and district results on.
Perfect. And we got plenty of orange wall back there to cover up, so that'd be awesome.
Can we use this one too?
Cover up that one first.
Okay.
I would like to see some special eds, figure out a way to represent special ed on some of those numbers as well. Did you have something to add, Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, Mike Vondren will also be a part of that committee to help make it fit the scheme for what we're trying to accomplish.
All right, perfect.
We've got enough.
And you guys voluntold all of your student board members already, so the superintendent wrote their names down, right?
That's our guy right here. He's on it.
I think there's a Mayfield on there too.
The last time he misses a meeting.
Adriana.
Yeah,
This is him right there.
That's the team.
Good
That's
pair.
the
That's our
squad right there.
group.
Perfect. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to add?
Youth leadership team.
That what you guys got?
Yes.
What you
Yep,
needed?
I think I do.
You
Vice
got what you
President.
needed? All right. Again, thank you very, very much for participating. I forgot to call on you during it, but whenever we have discussion things, if you all want to participate and give us your input, we greatly appreciate that. All right. Now we'll go on to discussion item, subject 11.03, meeting start time. At the last meeting, I think it was the last meeting, we talked about keeping all the meetings at the same at 5:30. And then some board members had said maybe even 5 o'clock, because that way if there's things going on in the district afterwards, we're able to get to those things. So I just wanted to see what everyone's thoughts were on that. Now, we could go the complete other extreme. Brenda did say there's some districts that meet at 6 a.m. and get all their stuff out of the way and then go to work. So,
Yeah, that's a great.
Director Beck.
I am not in favor of moving any earlier than 5:30 because it's hard to get here from work, especially if you have to drive kids. The junior high doesn't even get out till 4 o'clock, so if you got to take your kids somewhere and then be here at 5, that's pretty tough. The other thing I think about is the public that comes to speak at open forum, it's probably going to be a lot harder for them to get here at 5. So I guess I would prefer, I'm not even sure that 5:30 is going to be feasible in the long run. So I'm hoping it's going to work, but I wouldn't go any earlier. I appreciate the idea of being able to go to events afterwards, but I just don't think it would be workable for a lot of people.
Director Hayes, you got your microphone on, and then Director Gordon.
I can accommodate either one of them. It doesn't matter, but I think my preference would be 5:30.
Director Gordon.
I want to echo what Allison or Dr. Beck said. I barely got here on time tonight. From when I get off work, I was home for 4 minutes, long enough to grab a sandwich and bring it with me in the car. So if we were at 5, I would not be here on time. And I don't really agree with Skype and driving at the same time. So that's my input.
Hey, Director Potts?
Yeah, I would be in favor of the 5 o'clock. I think it allows people to attend their own kids' activities. It's I think a little more considerate of our employees that have to be at the meetings, because sometimes we'll run very late and they still have to come to work in the morning. It's a long day for everybody. I think 5 o'clock, when we're looking at, a couple of meetings a month with enough pre-planning, I think we can handle that. But, I'm retired. I could be here at 2 o'clock. I could be here at 1 o'clock. I could be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll just make pancakes for everybody.
Well, in that case, just kidding.
Director Klein-Jerome.
I like the idea of 5, but I'm like Director Potts. I am retired. I don't have that time commitment, so I guess I would, listen more to the people who have to come from work to here. And if it was a hardship, I certainly don't want to put that on them. I prefer 5, but I would not push it since it's not really an issue for me. I'm with you. I could be here at 6 o'clock in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. I'm all good, except pantry days.
Director Poston.
Well, for me, so depends somewhat on the season. There's some meetings I would prefer it was at 8 o'clock, but but I can be flexible. I'll make it work. We just have to jockey the schedule.
You already went.
I'm here. I'm here.
I could probably go either one. 5 o'clock would be better for me because I have kids in the district and I would like to go to their activities, but they're always scheduled on a Monday night. Director Hayes and I were in another meeting earlier, and then we came right here, and I think we got done right at 4:45, so it would have been perfect sliding right in. So, but some people had mentioned that, so I wanted to have that discussion on that. So, if I'm doing this, obviously we're not taking any action right now, or nothing. I have, well, a lot of you said either, but Director Potts said 5, Director Klein-Jerome said 5, Director Hayes said either, Directors Beck and Gordon said 5:30, 5:30, right? What you both said. So, okay.
And Ken said 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning, all right.
Maybe what we should do is, since we've changed it once now from 6 to 5:30, do you want to just leave it at 5:30 and just see how that goes first and then decide down the road? But, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's fine, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's what we were going to do. It had been mentioned, so I wanted to pull that. All right, is there anything else on that? Administrative reports.
None at this time.
Are there any board requests? Seeing none. Whoa. That came from way out of left field. We hardly get any over on that end. First board request, board member name, Director Potts. Date of request, 12/13/2021. Item requested, an agenda item. Description of request. Request info on changes proposed in high school AP courses, i.e. offerings, time allotment for courses, and etc. Why are you making this request? Open forum concern expressed by a student. When would you like this information? ASAP. We will begin registration for the next school year soon. Is there a second?
Second.
How many seconds did that one get?
27.
I'm gonna go with Director Klein Jerome. All right, second board request made by Director Klein Jerome. Data request 12/13/2021. Item requested or request for information.
I know.
A discussion / information on AP changes. Why are you making this request? It was just called to our attention that there will be a change in AP classes, both in time and money. I would like further information and explanation why this change is being implemented. When would you like this? ASAP. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm going to give that one to Director Potts so they...
Great. Great minds think alike.
Are there any other board requests? All right, we're on to Director Potts' favorite time. Board reflections, we'll start with Director Klein Jerome.
Oh, yay, I'm never first. I always like the recognitions because not only the fact that, you know, these students have performed well, but the fact, and hearing the board reports from the student board members, we have a lot of caring students out there. They are looking out for others, whether it be their own classmates or community. The fact that they are the grade point averages of the swim team, or like you said, the dance team. We've got smart kids in this district who are doing great things and are very, very talented. It's just amazing, and it needs to be showcased more how great our kids are doing, both caring, talent, academics. School isn't all academics. There are other things out there. And so I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, Director Klein Jerome. Director Poston.
Well, I'd echo the same things that Director Klein Jerome just said. My concern here lately is just student participation in extracurricular activities. It seems like we don't have enough kids out for whether it's sports or band or whatever. And I feel bad that these students, they're going to look back at these years and say, you know, I really missed out. I should have been participating. And, you know, when I was at the youth leadership team meeting the other day, I mean, there are some kids that are involved. They care. They want to make some changes. But we just need to see more participation in all extracurricular activities. And I think your influences and influences of the kids that were recognized tonight, maybe that will help, you know, get kids more involved. But we've got to have more involvement from our students.
Thank you, Director Poston. Director Beck.
So I guess trying to come up with, you know, the two or three things that we'd want anyone to know from a meeting. Definitely the highlighting of student achievement, whether it be academic, athletic, or in the arts. And it was great tonight to see so many wonderful students and be able to recognize their achievements. My second one is the fact that we have some great student board members. I know a couple people had to leave, but having you all here and participating is super important to us and really helpful for us to know what's going on. And then I think my third one is actually the young man who came up and spoke at open forum. He waited very patiently, cheering on all the other students, and spoke about something that was important to him and to some of his peers. And I think that is a great demonstration of how government's supposed to work and how the public how the public can interact with elected officials. So I think that was a great example.
Thank you, Director Beck. Director Potts?
Well, I ditto what Director Kleinstrom said. Students that are achieving, students that are performing, students that are engaged, students that are involved, that's the overriding PR piece that we should be pushing on the public. We're engaged in a competition every day for students. Students translate to money. Money allows us to do more things for students. And when we look at the Opus and the Allstate and the plays and the bands and the orchestras and the drama and all the newspaper, the yearbook, all those other things that take place are opportunities that we provide for kids to excel. And a lot of these kids, those wind up being career choices. And okay, the bassoonist, the four-year bassoonist, right, from Central High School, was a transfer-in senior because of the band at Central. Right? Now, that's one our way, too many the other way. And that's the horse I ride all the time when we get on these discussions. And I'm staying with Trigger.
Thank you, Director Potts. Director Gordon?
I want to add on to that just a little bit because you and Director Poston both made a good point about involvement. It's one thing to have a bunch of adults in your life telling you that you need to be more involved. And I know that to you guys, I look old, right? It's been a really long time since I was your age in high school, but I was not involved, and there was nothing anybody could do to get me involved, and it's to my mother's shame. I mean, to this day, I think she wishes I had done more. And it sometimes isn't till I hear what you guys are doing that I'm like, man, why didn't I do that? But I think what it comes down to is students like you reaching out to students like me and being like, hey, you'd be a good fit for this. Because you guys know the students. We don't know them. We can sit here and preach all day and say, you'd be great at this, but we don't know what they're great at. You guys do. So the more that you're out there telling your peers that what you're doing is fun and it's working and it's getting involved and it's going to look good on a resume, those are the people that they want to hear it from. It doesn't matter how many adults they do. So yeah, I commend you for everything you guys are doing at your schools, all the things that you come and share here. I am just amazed and impressed. Like a holiday explosion, how fun is that? That's really cool. And you guys are doing a fundraiser for a student with cancer. Like there's just so many good things happening, and I think a lot of students don't even know about it. They go home and they live in their own bubbles, and so I just encourage you all to reach out. Another thing that I wanted to reflect on was how awesome it was to see the teachers and coaches with the pride in their eyes and their voices coming in here and talking about not just the students' accomplishments, but their efforts, how hard they worked, how much time they spend putting into the things that they love doing. And that's really what it's about, is that effort, because we all have it in us to work hard. So that was really cool to hear.
Thank you, Director Gordon. Director Hayes?
I agree with everything that's been said so far from everyone. Going back to the young man that did the open forum, I liked his initiative to basically come up and introduce himself to everyone and, shake hands and, speak about something that was really passionate to him. I applaud him for his efforts, and he even stated that this was his first time doing something like this, but he just felt it needed to be heard. the recognition for all the students also, that one of the coaches stated about some of the records being shattered that he thought would be there forever. You know, that would have been a sad thing to have that go by and those students not be appreciated. And although some of them would not speak, you could see that they were so excited to be here and be recognized, and just kind of briefly shook their head that they're not willing or not wanting to speak. And I just feel that if more of our students were involved with more things, that everyone needs that minute to shine. And we just know that adults in the district do appreciate you. And also, I would like to applaud all of you student board members. This is the first night this year, actually, that we've had almost a full house with only 2 people missing. Everyone had excitement about what they were speaking on and were pretty passionate. And like Director Gordon said, I was, really impressed with the person that you're raising funds for cancer. That's really thoughtful. When we were at Washington, they said this was the start of their week of kindness, and that was really something over and above being really kind to think about that. So everything we talked about tonight I was really moved by it.
Thank you, Director Hayes. Now I'm going to call on you all to participate in this, so you kind of got an idea on how the board, what we do. Just reflect on some takeaways from tonight's meeting, your takeaways for this. So we'll start on this end with Gabriella, and we'll move down this way.
Alrighty, so I love always seeing, especially from a student's perspective, our students being recognized for their hard work. I am always behind the scenes in those kind of things, and being able to see all of my students, many of whom I am going to rehearsal with right after this, be recognized for their hard work is just so exciting. I got to watch them today getting ready for all of this, and the excitement in their eyes was just amazing. And so being able to see that come to fruition here was very exciting. And I, again, thought that the open forum was very interesting. I hadn't heard of anything like that happening, and so being able to see that kind of passion in our students was inspiring. So that's my piece.
Thank you, Sarah.
I just really love hearing like what's going on at the other schools, because that we're able to reflect ideas with each other. Like, we're already really close friends just through this, and we're able to listen to hear what they're doing at their schools, and like being able to think, oh, well, maybe we should start that at our school to make our certain areas a better place. And I think that's really cool to listen to that. And even Montre was talking about how one of her students' parents passed away and how they were fundraising. We had seen like our dance team, he's on the dance team. We all met up at state, and we were all just like giving each other hugs and stuff, because it doesn't matter like what school we go to. We're all in the same district, and we all support one another through these hard times. And it's just really cool to see. It's never like a rival. It's more of a connection and friendship through the district. So that's really awesome.
Thank you, Brianna.
I thought it was really eye-opening to like hear what North is doing, like the holiday explosion. That's pretty cool. I'm in Senate, and we're like trying to figure out things to do. So definitely gonna recommend that for next year. I appreciate the board requests. That's something. It's my first year taking an AP class, and I cannot imagine not being in there for 3 terms. And it's AP Spanish, so it's really hard. But anyways, I really appreciate that you guys take the time to fill out those requests and inquire about more information for that. And I really appreciate how I saw like my friends and stuff being recognized for their athletic or fine arts achievements. I think that's really important, and it really like gives people a boost and says, oh yeah, they're qualifying for swimming, so maybe I should do that next year. And I think that's really important to promote participation in the schools.
Thank you very much. Mr. Superintendent.
Well, I was very inspired by the presentations tonight. The artwork that was on display back there, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but there was a ballpoint pen drawing done And I don't know if I can't even write a sentence in a ballpoint pen without making a mistake, let alone this beautiful drawing. And we've all been to the performances that occur, and they're just outstanding. And to have our student board members here is going to make a huge difference. And so thank you guys so much for being here. It's fantastic having you here. One thing maybe a little different. You hear about records that people thought would never be broken, and I can't help but think, look at the facility those kids are using now. So our facilities matter, and so, you know, Director Potts, when you kicked off talking about the facilities and we want to hear from the community, that matters. The performing arts centers, we have the pools, the classrooms, the learning environments, it all matters. And so I can't help but think that has an impact, and that's something that we get an opportunity to do over the next 1 to 10 years. Thank you.
No, thank you. I agree with everything that was said tonight. I love having the presentations about all the cool things we got going on in the district. And as well as like Director Gordon said, with the coaches and the teachers that are here, and just seeing that, you know, coming from them. And then when you're at like the holiday concert and you see that stuff, and that's a tribute to all of the music teachers from kindergarten on up, because they helped get these students to where they are. Just know all the great things that you all do, that there are teachers that sit back and take pride in that, as well as board members, because we get to see what you all do and go on and do in life. It's a lot of great things coming out of this district, and again, we got a lot of good programs. We have amazing staff members at all levels. So again, and student board members, greatly appreciate you participating with us and hanging out the whole time. So I understand you got other things going on and you're not required to be here. As soon as you give your report, you can take off if you want, but thanks for sticking around and giving your input. And with that, Director Potts, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.